Hello dear students, this is Madhurima Miss. In my today's video, I am going to explain to you this poem, A Work of Artifice, written by March POC. The poem is included in Treasure Chest, the new book that is selected by the ICSE board for the students of class 9. And the poetry contains two levels, two layers we can say, and that is why by nature the poetry will be called allegorical poem. Why allegorical poem? Because there is a superficial meaning on the surface level, and beneath that there is a deep rooted meaning. And when you have such poems that contains two layers of meaning, such poems will be included in the list of allegorical poems. Okay, so the work of artifice, the name itself says that we are going to read about something where artificiality is involved. There is nothing natural to it. Artifice is very similar to artificial, right? So something, what is artifice or artificial? Something that is not real, something that is not normal, that is controlled. When you are making a artificial tree or a plastic, a tree that is made of plastic, suppose if I say, or a flower, don't we use flower vases that are filled with artificial flowers that are not real, where you don't have to use water, you don't have to water your plants, plastic plants basically. So they are kind of artificial and they are not natural. Anything or everything that is artificial, they are not natural. We have made it, we have created it in our own way for our own benefit. Similarly, here we are going to, if we read the poem on the outer level, surface level or superficial level, we can see the story is about a bonsai tree, not a plastic plant, a real plant, living real plant, but its growth is stunted, its growth is controlled by the gardener. This is the surface level story that the poetry tells us. But underneath that layer, there is a deep rooted meaning, there is a deep rooted message, a message that conveys the stories of each and every suppressed, oppressed, subjugated woman in the entire world. So that is why the poem is an allegorical poem by nature. And as I said, two layers. One layer about the bonsai tree, the story of a bonsai tree. Underneath that, it is the story of every woman. Okay. So having said that, let us come to the poetry. The bonsai tree. I have made a star mark over here. Why? Because this bonsai tree is going to play the role of a metaphor. Metaphor for what? This is the extended metaphor for woman. Okay. Each and every woman. So the bonsai tree in the attractive pot, the words that I am circling on the screen, they can be used as your keywords. Okay, these are the major keywords you can use in your answers, and these are very important words when you are reading this poetry. So first one is the bonsai tree, then I have circled attractive pot. So the bonsai tree in the attractive pot could have grown 80 feet tall on the side of a mountain till split by lightning. So this is where the full stop comes. So what this entire sentence that contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, entire portion, what this entire portion is telling us, that there is a bonsai tree and that bonsai tree could have grown 8 feet tall. That bonsai tree could have grown 80 feet tall. Okay, 80 feet tall it could have grown on the side of a mountain till split by lightning. Until or unless it is struck or killed by the lightning, it could have grown 80 feet tall. If that tree was allowed to stay on the mountain side and have a normal life with a normal growth rate, it could have grown till 80 feet. But it didn't grow that tall. How the growth is stunted? Let us see that. But a gardener carefully pruned it. So this is the reason. Gardener has pruned it. That is why it is now 9 inches high. It is 9 inches high. So another sentence. So first we are informed that there is a bonsai tree in the attractive pot. Attractive pot means very beautiful looking pot that draws your attention or can be used as a decorative piece at your home. So there is a bonsai tree in the attractive pot, and that bonsai tree could have grown 80 feet tall on the side of a mountain. Means if it were allowed to grow in a natural surroundings, in a natural in its natural way, if it were allowed to get its natural growth, maintain the natural growth rate, it could have grown 80 feet tall, and till it is struck or killed by the lightning. But a gardener carefully pruned it. What is pruning? Pruning, I have written over here the word meaning. Pruning refers to, in horticulture, pruning is the removal or reduction of parts of plants or tree that are not requisite to grow. If we are planning to grow the particular tree in a certain way and we don't need some parts of it, we are going to cut it. We are going to cut it so that we can get the amount of growth that we as a gardener think that this is what is good for the tree. So that is pruning, cutting parts of the tree that the gardener thinks is not necessary for the tree to have. Okay, so if the tree grew in the natural circumstances, it could have grown 80 feet tall, but it is pruned carefully by the gardener. And now it is 9 inches high. So these are the 3 points we get to know till now in our story. Okay, let us move on to the next portion. Every day as he whittles back the branches. Whittles back means to cut, to trim. Okay, to trim the branches of the tree. The gardener croons. Croons means to sing or hum a natural tone. Okay, tune. It is your nature. So what does the gardener sings to the tree? To the bonsai tree, that it is your nature to be small and cozy, that you should be small and cozy. You are born to become a bonsai tree. Bonsai trees are basically, this is a Japanese technique of growing a tree in a small pot, and that will look like a full grown tree, but it will be in a pot. It won't be that tall, that strong, that large tree. It will be a very small tree growing in a pot as a decorative piece to be decorated and kept at your home. So the gardener is telling the tree, croons to the tree, bonsai tree, that it is your nature to be small and cozy. You should be small. You are not meant to be great. You are not meant to grow tall or large or have your own life. You are meant to be small and cozy, domestic and weak. Domestic and weak means you are meant to be limited. Your growth is bound to be limited. How lucky little tree to have a pot to grow in. You are really a lucky tree that you have a pot to grow in. Other trees that don't have a pot. You are the only one who is lucky to have a pot. But is the tree really lucky to have a pot? It could have grown 80 feet tall if it were allowed to stay in a natural circumstances, natural space. It could have grown 80 feet tall. Now it is 9 inches tall only. So is it actually lucky? No. So basically there is a irony here. Okay. So now let us look at the second layer of the poem. This is what is being told to the bonsai tree. So as I have already mentioned, bonsai tree is the metaphor for woman. So basically this is the story of each and every suppressed, oppressed, subjugated woman. What is it? You have an attractive pot. What is that attractive pot referred to? Home. You are supposed to stay in the home. We women are always told that women are not supposed to go out and have a job and work and have their own life. You are meant to be in the home. So the attractive pot refers to the home. Could have grown 80 feet tall on the mountainside till split by the lightning means your growth, your mental growth, psychological growth, growth in terms of your career, everything will be stunted. Why? Because you are meant to stay at home. You are not meant to have a career. You are not meant to have freedom. You are meant to be subjugated. You are meant to be downtrodden. You are meant to be ruled by the men of the house. So you are not supposed to go 80 feet tall. Now in case of women, definitely 80 feet tall to 9 inches does not refer to the physical growth. Here it refers to, in case of women, it refers to their growth in terms of having a career, having freedom in their life, having their own way, and decide, having their control over their own life. Okay. By the garden, but a gardener carefully pruned it. Who is the gardener? The man in the society, in the patriarchal society, who tells us what to wear, what not to wear, what to eat, what not to eat, when to go out of home, when not to go out of home, when to return at home, what is too late for a girl or a woman. So gardener here becomes the representative of the patriarchal society of men who are dominative by nature, who are domineering by nature, who dominates the women folk, right? So the gardener who pruned carefully that bonsai tree and stunted its growth basically refers to the patriarchal society that has stunted the growth of a woman. Growth of a woman, not physical growth, psychological growth, growth in terms of having your own life, having freedom, the control over your life, that I want to do this job, so I will do this job. If it is necessary for me to stay outside the house late at night for the purpose of a job, then I would do that, having the freedom to do that and nobody questioning it. But that is not possible. Why? Because the patriarchal society is controlling us, continuously pruning us. The way a gardener prunes that bonsai tree in order to maintain in order to control its growth, stunt the growth of the bonsai tree. In the similar way, the society is continuously controlling women so that they can stunt the growth of a woman as a complete human being. Okay, now let us come to the next portion. Every day as he whittles back the branches, the gardener croons, "It is your nature to be small and cozy, domestic and weak. How lucky little tree to have a pot to grow in." Now this is what the gardener is saying or singing or humming. This tune he is humming to whom? To the bonsai tree. Similarly, this patriarchal society is continuously singing a song to brainwash us. This patriarchal society is brainwashing us, the women, by saying that you, as a woman, by nature, you are supposed to be small and cozy. You are not supposed to be strong. You are not physically strong or mentally strong. You are supposed to be weak. You are supposed to be domestic. You are supposed to limit it to your home. And you are consider yourself lucky. You women, you consider yourself lucky that you have a pot to grow in. Pot refers to home. As I have already mentioned, that pot refers to home. That you women, you are lucky to have a home. You are supposed to accept that. You are supposed to be happy with that. Okay. Now there is a alliteration over here. Lucky little tree. L sounds are repeated over here. And other portion where there is a alliteration is alliteration. What is alliteration? Basically it is the repetition of consonant sound. So here again, back the branches. Back the branches, here B sound is repeated. Okay. So that is why this is also an instance of alliteration. Now let us move further in the poem. With living creatures, one must begin very early to dwarf their growth. So if you are planning, this is the message to the patriarchal society. If you are planning to stunt the growth of a woman, or in other case, on the superficial level, if a gardener is thinking to stunt the growth of a tree, to transform it into a dwarf tree or a bonsai tree, you must start it very early. So if men belonging to the patriarchal society, men with domineering nature, if you are planning to suppress your women, you must start doing it at an early stage. You must start doing it from an early stage, so that the girl in the family, before becoming a woman, The girl, little girl in the family before becoming a woman will know that I'm not supposed to go out, I'm not supposed to have my own life, I'm not supposed to have my own wishes, I'm not supposed to make my own choices. And this thought process will be there in her mind. She will not know what freedom feels like. So the stunting of the growth, the stunting of the thought process must start at an early stage. I hope I have made this portion clear enough. Now let us move on to the next portion. To dwarf their growth, what are the steps to be taken? If the gardener is trying to dwarf the growth of the bonsai tree, then what are the steps to be taken? The bound feet, the crippled brain, the hair in curlers, the hands you love to touch. So basically, gardener will be pruning in his own way. In case of women in the society, they are told that you must have a bound feet. There is a Chinese tradition of binding the feet of a woman in order to make it look smaller, and that smaller size of the feet will be considered as a beautiful feet. Okay, if you are meant to have a pair of beautiful feet, it must be bound. Okay, it must be very small in size. And what else? Crippled brain. Women are continuously getting brainwashed uh, by this patriarchal society, that you are a woman, you are not supposed to do this, or you're not supposed to wear that, you are not supposed to eat this, you're not supposed to go out at this hour of the day or night. So that is why this is the way of stunting the growth. By doing what? By crippling the brain. Crippling means to make it stop working. By crippling the brain right from at an early stage. And hair in curlers means your natural hair is not beautiful, it doesn't suit you. Back in those days, having a curly hair means that you have a very beautiful hair. Like in these days, it is a tradition to have a straight hair. Earlier in those days, curling the hair was a sign of a beauty. So your hair, your natural hair is not beautiful at all. You are supposed to curl it with the curlers. The hands you love to touch. And even after suppressing women, oppressing women, what we are supposed to expect from women, that they are going to love each and every hand that is going to touch them, right? The hands you love to touch. So after doing all this, the women is supposed to be delicate enough, acceptable enough to be loved by the hands, by the hands that are now controlling them. Okay, I hope I have make this poem very easy for you. And another thing that I have noted it down for your benefit only, that the pot, if you have noticed that in the line 2, it seemed attractive. So basically women are told that you're supposed to be in the home, and the home is the attractive place for you. In other case, the bonsai tree is having a attractive pot. So first, the home seemed attractive, very safe place for a woman. Attractive for the bonsai tree and safe place for a woman. But that same house that was supposed to be attractive and safe place for woman, by the line number 16, the significance of that pot changes and becomes symbol of confinement. So the same house that is supposed to give you safety, that is supposed to give you comfort, that same house becomes the reason of your confinement. So what is beautiful for you, attractive for you, has now become, that pot, that home has now become a symbol of confinement. I hope I have made this poem very clear to you, and I hope you have understood the comparison I brought, that how on the superficial level it is the story of a tree, bonsai tree, and underneath that there is a deep rooted meaning where there is the story of each and every suppressed woman. If you have understood my explanation the way I explained, don't forget to share my video among your friends, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channels. I will come back in my videos with another poem or another short story from treasure chest. Thank you for watching my videos.